Welcome, welcome. It is 5 o'clock. All right. Glad to see everybody. If you're new here, let me know in the chat. I'd love to welcome new people. Afternoon. Nancy. Some people say good evening. Some people say good afternoon. It's only 5 o'clock. Well, let's get started, shall we? The boss is here, along with lots of our other friends. So 3 big topics today. We got some volatility. Some naysayers out there were thinking we were just going to go up forever, but we pulled back. And then, as usual, we'll do the crowdsourced stocks, take your requests. We already had some. It looks like Justin kind of summarized for me. And then I'll tell you about charting a course. Little offer to join me if you haven't already. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's check out some charts. So pop out of the webinar here. First up is S&P 500. I was warning, putting out a video on YouTube even to watch out for a pullback that happened. It has now happened, or now in progress anyway. We have an echo support of this first correction down here in June and July. We had this correction here. And projecting both of those over this current pullback comes out right here, right around 4,100. Just above the 144 EMA here on this 4-hour chart. It's a 4-hour chart. Usually I show the hourly chart, but right now I've got it set to 4-hour chart. Today we just kind of went sideways. I'm kind of expecting a little bit of bounce back up into this 4250 area before we could see further decline back down here around this 4,000 area, kind of down here where we've got this big circle. And I need 3950 to hold on the S&P 500. If 3950 doesn't hold, then we could be looking at this scenario where we go on down here and we can see an extension. 3,400 may be mild, but on the upside, if we do hold support, we could be headed up here, 4,500 or higher. That's kind of the playing field we're at right now. Expecting a bounce and a continuation drop. So we're going to be in a correction for a little while. There's no shortcut out of it, I don't think. Now we could, this could be all the correction we get and we just race on out, but that's not my primary expectation at this point. You see what we did over here. Took a couple weeks. While I don't expect it to take as long as that, it very well could. And, this could lead us right into Labor Day before we wrap up this correction. So, yeah, 4250, that if we go up right here, this is probably going to happen in a couple days. I mean, look, this took, 3 days, 4 days now? Started Thursday-ish and it's kind of decline down here. Yesterday was obviously a big down day, gap down and continuation. Today we just kind of rounding out. We may reach down here tomorrow. The big news of the week, Thursday, Friday, we have Jackson Hole speeches and news releases and symposium, whatever. All our FOMC bankers are out there in Wyoming having a good time, I guess. I think that's Wyoming, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Yeah. Anyway, news out of there can change this thing up. Things aren't looking too good. News this week was, this over the weekend, kind of 50% of public companies are considering layoffs and have halted hiring, and that just doesn't sound very positive for continuation hire at the moment. So I think something's got to happen here before we get back to all-time bullish going higher situation. Anyway, we always also look at the S&P 500, which I kind of drew this out before. We see an A down here, a B rally, and then a C. And that's still the path. Still kind of expecting that move. So looks like we've exceeded the initial expectation on an A. We need to pull it down just a hair. Still makes the B about the same place and C about the same place. Then do we hold this orange zone and bounce, or do we break down and go lower? That's only time's going to tell right there. Possibilities out there right now. So Nasdaq not quite making the bullish setup that S&P 500 did. I've warned that it's kind of been a whole corrective move up, and we could see a deep retrace on Nasdaq. So caution, caution, caution. And we are now overlapping this high back here. So we have to watch out. Tech could see a bigger drawdown. It just could. Russell also 3 waves up and starting to get a little bit of overlap on this move here. Russell has been leading this market for several months now, pretty much the whole year. Let it down, leading it back up. And I kind of keep an eye on that. That's our small caps. If this one really starts rolling over, then the rest of the economy is probably going to go with it. You know, the rest of the market. Just wanted to keep an eye on. So oil potentially working on getting out of this funk here. Connect up the actual highs here, poking above today. One day does not make a new trend, but it is something to keep an eye on here. If we kind of pop up, roll back over, retest this breakout, it can start a new trend higher. Like I mentioned, this was a lower low than back here and can be the conclusion of the move down, even though we did not quite get to my ideal target. So this was a lower low. This does satisfy all the needs that I needed for it to push down, although I was optimistic it would reach the target. This may be it, and this may be a reversal, and we may see higher prices in oil and more pain at the gas pumps, ultimately. Gold does appear to have bounced off the roadmap line and pushing lower. Target's still down here around this 1620 to 1660 area that I've been talking about for, gosh, since last summer. So that is, I can't get rid of the rocket because I don't have a paid account. Like I can click it and it'll come right back. So there's not much down there that you're missing. So, all right. And then popping over to crypto, we have this date hanging out here in crypto. Mostly has to do with Ethereum, September 15th, 16th, somewhere in that neighborhood. We are going to hit the wall, the merge wall. It keeps, because it's based on the block and not an actual date, it's based on when the block gets mined. It keeps fluctuating slightly with the mining rates. But somewhere around the 15th or 16th of September, we're going to reach the end of proof of work and switch, and the difficulty is going to ramp up to a point where it's going to take like 100 million years to mine the next block on Ethereum. So everybody's going to move to proof of stake or Ethereum 2.0. They're basically going to merge the two and move forward with proof of stake. Now, risk to this, if there's any error in the code that kind of, they may have to shut down the whole network to resolve it. And that can be very detrimental to anything Ethereum based and really all of crypto. So this thing is hanging out here as a known unknown. Like we know it's happening, but we don't know what's going to happen exactly. It is a risk. I was reading reports over the weekend that there's lots of crypto money sitting on the sidelines waiting for this to happen. Now, Bitcoin did push out of the bottom of his channel and is just kind of riding in the bottom of his channel right now. Popping back up in there is bullish. Staying down here is bearish, and we could see a run down to this target that we never quite touched all the way back here in June. So be cautious and careful if you're in the crypto space. Know the dangers that are coming at you. I have not liquidated anything out of the crypto space. I'm just kind of floating along, accumulating small little chunks as we go. And that's where I am. So my favorites for the merge Ethereum Classic is a proof of work version of Ethereum that splintered off back in 2016. And then there is Ravencoin, which also runs on a similar algorithm to Ethereum that miners can just switch over to. And this one's only hanging out at like 3 cents right now. So this one could stand to absorb miner traffic also. Those miners are going to go somewhere. They have, millions of dollars of equipment tied up in proof of work mining. They're going to go somewhere else and do something else. And some other coin cryptocurrency is going to benefit from that. So, yeah. Effectively, Ethereum miners are getting kicked off Ethereum, period. End of story. They're going somewhere else. So it doesn't hurt to make a few calculated bets on other cryptocurrencies that could stand to benefit from increased traffic. Because, there's a huge miner economy, whether you want to deny it or not. There is a huge number of miners. They're not just companies. People like me mine coins, and then you use the coins. You don't just dump the currency. So that's activity that does benefit those chains, those cryptocurrencies. So, all right. Justin threw up a list. Let me see if I can pop over here and grab some. We're going to move into taking requests here. So looks like PXD was first on the list. Yeah, I could be working on something bullish here. Could be. So market roadmap set up. Pull down, bounce, find a resistance at the 618. So needs to clear that for continued bullishness. Zoom that up a little bit. We're hanging out right here at the 618. It's got to push above. It gave you your first signal back, 3 days ago when it pushed above this high right here. Now it's finding a little resistance here. May hang out for a couple days, and on a break higher, it may do this number where it goes on up here, then pulls back to here before it can ultimately break out and go up. The extension looking like 316 or so would be the extension out there. That's a pretty good move from 250 up to 316. All right. Then VLO, people that were here early got their requests in early. PLO, yeah, still on the path here. Find some resistance as it comes up into get the lowest low. Yeah, right around this area where prior resistance and everything was. So it needs to break up through that 128 area, get some continuation. I'd watch for a bounce down and another leg just in case oil decides to go one more lower low. All right. BTU. Yeah. A lot of these resource charts, BTU coal, if you're not aware, breaking higher. That's been on the market roadmap watch list for a few weeks prior to now, and looks like it's going to break out and get the extension out to 39.50 or so. Another one in the same vein that I actually have a few shares of, Arch. Looking for a move out to this area, 200 or so. Watch for resistance at this prior high around 180. Same thing on BTU. So I'll look at this, but it's ridiculous. It bounced right off of the long-term resistance. I said watch out here. It got a retrace, and then watch out for finding resistance at the downtrend of the highs. If you've been here, I said it was going to do that. While it did poke marginally through, it came right back down, and it's going to be headed back to the lows. So that's all I got to say about that one. It didn't make any kind of progressive move up, and the company is effectively bankrupt. So I don't know what. There's nothing there but bad. See ya. That's It's on the path right there. Working on a breakout. The next target higher would be around 124. All right. And then saw something on YouTube. Yeah, Ford came right back to the roadmap line. I'm looking for a breakout higher. I got a long-term bullish view on Ford. I mean, they jumped on, they raised the price of their new truck by more than the amount of the new Inflation Reduction Act. So, I mean, throw some inflation on the fire. Yeah, see the ad pop back up. Doesn't matter how many times I remove it, it's going to pop back up. All right. Then CTVA. That's yeah, just working on a breakout here. Nothing different there. All right, K. Yeah, that's working on some resistance, looks like. Yep. Tried to break higher, it's having a tough time pushing higher. It may find ultimate resistance at this 78 on a good pop day, and then come back again. So primary expectation would be a push marginally higher, and then a deeper retrace back to the roadmap line as that comes on up there. Alrighty. Looking for OXY. Let's just, hype and hopes and dreams on riding with Buffett right there. Breakout can take you up to 80 or so. If we really get legs, 89. Alrighty. And U and M. And right to the target. Watch out for a retrace on U and M. And then FCEL. Yeah, right back to the box. Sideways. Primary. Couldn't break higher. Couldn't break higher. Could make a lower low. Had a target down here. May bring over here. So that's where we are on FCEL. All right, rolling back. Buenas tardes. Yeah, UNG. Still on the path. Trying to break higher. Finding a little resistance. In doing so. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days we've tried to break higher. May find resistance right there, about 38. But ultimately, that's a 3-wave move up so far, I would expect. Move up to here, consolidate a little bit, and then a push on just a bit higher. Hard to say exactly what that would look like, but it could reach 45 to 50. That's this ultimate target up here. So we may find resistance here, pull back, and then run up to here. Something crazy happened in the natural gas space could just make this thing rocket out. And this is the chart to keep an eye on, natural gas futures. I've been saying I expect to move out to this. Really, it's the $13 to $15 area. 15 ideally, but it could be just 13. So, and as the cool weather approaches in the US, we're going to see this continue higher. It happens every year. We see it run up into October, and then we start seeing how the cold weather happens. We see the run up in October and then sideways. So October, November is usually where we peak out on natural gas. So this one's good for at least another month and a half to 2 months. All right. XOM. When you say the miners, you're talking about crypto miners, because most crypto miner public companies are mine Bitcoin, which is a different situation. So XOM, yeah, working on the breakout here. That is a conservative entry with a stop right down here below this consolidation. And watch out. Could reverse if oil takes a little bit of dump here. So that's only a 3-wave move up. So, all right. Got a message from somebody. A little fly in here. All right. Next up, AMZN. That one hasn't changed much from what we had. Yeah, right back. I think it's going to retest the whole range here. Like it made this gap up. I think it's going to fill back down. If it doesn't hold there, we can see it retrace back down here. So watch out on Amazon. If for whatever reason it can hold above that, it can bounce higher. But I foresee it retracing that gap up one way or another. And then, all right, cat. Looks like finding some resistance at the roadmap line. It can push down, especially with bad news in the construction space. So watch housing, watch construction. If the housing supply has reached levels we haven't seen since 2009. So be cautious on housing. I thought it was getting a little overzealous. I saw a lot of subdivisions that have been sitting around for 20 years get finished out, 15 years. Stuff we started back in 2005 is getting finished up finally after, the housing bust and recovery. And they're finally finishing out subdivisions left and right. And people are starting new projects. And that's worrisome to me. So, and it's like a crazy pace. Like, it doesn't matter the cost. Like, we got to build these projects, and that's dangerous for this right here. Caterpillar. It's kind of forward looking. So Square is bearish. It broke out of the box, looking for a lower low. Target down here. Somewhere in this $40 area. ON. It's working on breaking higher, but it's not really going anywhere. It's been sideways for 2 years, 6 months, 8 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. A little bit of trouble pushing higher. And the resistance is going to be right here at 80. DNAA. All right. Nope, that was not it. DNAA does not work. Already did cat. VMAR. Don't really like low price stuff. This looks messy and sideways. APLD. Yeah, it looks like it's going lower low. Mara right, etc. Mara doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. Right. On the same path. Don't have the fib for some reason. Right there's the path. It didn't get to the target on the upside, whereas Mara did. And Mara reached right up there and bounced down. Has intermediate support here, and then looking for, like, this is the point where I would add if it finds support right here. So everybody's been asking me where would I add. I'm probably going to add some here to look to 5 times that money on the move to here, and then remove that risk. So it'll be a smaller position though. Claire. Yeah, that's a big sudden move up, but still in the long term. I'd watch for, yeah, it's got some long-term resistance from right back over here. And it's got to beat those highs to really get a move out. Although I wouldn't expect much more than 38, potentially even 46, but that'll be a stretch right now. All right. STM. Downtrend. It's going to do a retrace. Probably down to here. And Beto, while not a minor, that one found resistance at the box and bounced down. It's got to break through that box to get anything to the upside. Otherwise, we're just stuck in the range down here. Kind of riding the channel. You know, we've got a kind of a watermelon seed squeeze set up here. We could break down or we could break out. It hasn't done this, so that hasn't come into play. So it may just do this where it bounces in this zone till some point out here. Now, this is also the wall. The wall is going to affect all crypto. And that just happens to be about 18 months out from the halving event for Bitcoin too. So it can be a bullish move or it can be a bearish move. Mara is not, Mara is a miner and it's a company. Beto is a ETF based on futures. So they are not equivalent as far as trading goes. It's two different things in my mind, but I just trade price patterns, and this price pattern doesn't look anything like Mara's. So, all right. Anybody else have any more? How are natural gas futures traded? Well, they're traded by delivery in the New York Harbor, I think it is. NG1 explanation point. If you wanted to trade at a broker like Tradeovate or AMP Global or something like that, and you trade it at TD Ameritrade also. It's usually /NG. NG1 exclamation point is in TradingView. So that's the natural gas futures, and it's based on so many million BTUs. So anyway, ZS Soy or ZS the company SLB. That I'd be cautious. That's a home builder, right? SLB. You can play with UNG. UNG is the ETF on futures. So LNG has been outperforming because they're an exporter. Although that is the second target. So I'd be cautious that we get a pullback. Although it can just reach right on out, but this is more common. See what happened right there. It was a little pullback after it hit the 100%, and then it never slowed down at the 1272 right up to the 618. May pull back, but it can just keep going, climbing the fib ladder. Each one of these that goes higher is the bigger chance for a bigger pullback. So, all right, already did Square. Microsoft looking like it's rolling back over. That was a 3-wave move up, and it needs a retrace back down. There. TSLA. I was looking for that right there. Yeah, Roku is going down. And can't break out of its own way here. Streaming service is coming into the realm of reality now. So So are you trade with stocks in these predictions? So can use the stop loss. I need more words than that. I'm sorry. Let's see. All right. FCX. Yeah. FCX. We're almost to 30 minutes. So still in the downtrend until it breaks out of this funk here. MW. I'm sorry. I didn't quite understand the question. I'm just kind of hitting the highlights. There are a few things I am in, like Arch, but I've mostly liquidated a lot of my stuff. LCID. Yeah. That's a downtrend, baby. Realistically, it can drop to 10. That's a 5-way move too. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah. Somewhere right in that zone. Highly likely. Alrighty. That's gonna wrap up the quest for now. Let's pop back over here. So this week has already proved volatility is not going anywhere. If you're having some trouble anticipating where the market moves next, don't blame yourself. Even the best traders struggle to find winners when the market is just all over the place. But the challenge isn't being right every time. That's pretty much impossible. The goal is to be able to anticipate where the market moves next with a relatively high degree of confidence. We try to amp it up as good as we can. Fortunately, there's some pretty powerful market math techniques that have learned over the years that can get us where we need to go. Underlying data built into every stock that can help us get ahead of the market's next moves. And I've built a proprietary indicator to show me one clear line on my charts. You've seen it all day here to help me anticipate where the market moves next. I call it the market roadmap. It may look like a simple line, and really it's not all that complicated, but this one line can be a powerful predictor of market movement. You see how this stock right here, Mara, climbed up, touched the market roadmap from below right there. Not just once, not just twice, but 3 times, my lady. And now it's on a retrace. That's powerful real-time market data that you can trade. And it's been hand-built by me. Nobody else has this tool at their disposal except people who have subscribed and gotten the code. But today can change all that because I want to help you install the market roadmap on your own charts just minutes from now. And I want to give you all the education that you need to be able to trade with this tool and get started using the powerful tool right away. And I feel like you can't really afford to wait for volatility to wipe more of your gains away. I mean, it's really tough. So I want to send you the code for this indicator so you can put it on your charts and start using it right here, right now. Plus, give you access to pre-recorded masterclass sessions so you can start maximizing this tool right away with trades. I'll even add a bonus on Options 101 walkthrough, how to really turbocharge the gains with options. I do trade options MW, and I'll be with you every step of the way because you'll get access to my private Discord server with my award-winning customer service team, the best in the business. For all that, it's just $47 for a year, no brainer. But I thought long and hard how to make this the easiest decision of your life. So I'm going one step further. Every week, 52 weeks a year, you get a hand-picked watch list that are set up with the market roadmap setup. I do all the work for you, and all you have to do is trade it. And you can ask questions about it, like, hey, which ones are set up? I usually put it in Discord. So if that sounds like an opportunity that you want to take advantage of, go to jeffreytrader.com/MRM or give the team a call at 855-454-0816 to get started. Throw that in the chat for everybody. There you go. And if you need the replay, this is on YouTube. Here's the link underneath me right here for YouTube. So we've got the replay. If you missed anything, if I went too fast on one of your stocks you requested today, just come check me out. There's my YouTube link. And here's the link for Market Roadmap. Remember, it helps me out if you like and subscribe on YouTube. Like this video if you thought it was something helpful. And remember, you can check out one of my other videos right over here. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for coming. We'll see you again soon.